All right, everyone. Your host, Cy Smith, coming to you on a Saturday. It's Blue Saturday. It's the fourth Saturday of the month. You see the flag behind me here. So every fourth Saturday of the month is our summit. That's when we come on here and become accountable to you about everything that we did to make life better for Black people globally. The title says A through E, A through E. So those are the last names that should be available today. A through E last names because we haven't bugged them in 6 months. We haven't bugged them since January. And so that's the purpose of this is to be accountable and also for our people, whoever last name it is, to represent as well. And with the model that we have, we know we're not burning people out. So that's always refreshing knowing that what we're asking isn't too much of a big ask here. So I'm gonna run through the agenda so people can know what we're gonna do, what we're gonna cover. I'm actually gonna post the agenda so you guys can see while I'm broadcasting here. So the first thing is we always begin with introductions. So I'm joined actually here at the headquarters with Governor Charles. He's gonna still get on at his 4 o'clock, but we should be in North Lawndale. We should be in 60623 zip code, North Lawndale. Unfortunately, this is the summit, so we be accountable. We couldn't find a location in North Lawndale, and that's really bad because that's actually where it started at on 14th of Springfield. But a lot of our people, they're busy, they're doing a lot of things, so we just didn't get around to securing a location. Hopefully, we'll secure the location now for next July 4th Saturday next year because it's every year. And I just want to say that to everyone else so you guys can know uh, consider what we're doing as an opportunity to bring other people to your zip code. And while they're there, they're going to spend money in your zip code. So it's almost like let's embrace the people coming. So ideally, if Lawndale lost money because Charles didn't make it over there, he would have spent money over there. I would have made it over there, would spend money. So it's really in our best interest to really host us when it's your turn for us to be on tour and do the summit in your zip code. Is really something that we hope people would take serious and prepare. We got a whole year to get ready for it. So come on, let's now get ready for next year's July, always the fourth Saturday of the month summit. So here's the rundown to put that out there. We're in Gary, Indiana broadcasting, but we should be in North Lawndale if everything was where it needs to be. So let me put the slide up so you guys can see what we're going to go through, the rundown for today. And you might see marks on my shirt. It's hot. You know, where I'm at, I'm on the front porch and there's no AC here. So it's it's hot. And that's my drinking water that you're seeing. So please excuse that look. All right, so here we go. Here, take a second for you guys to be able to see it. But this is what we do every fourth Saturday. So it says A through E National Summit. It is a global summit because of what we do in 20 different African countries as well. And so it is today, Saturday, July 26th. It's from 3 p.m. to 5. That is Central Time. So to all our LA people, it's 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. To our New York people, it's 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So we always open up with the roll call. We'll go through the 20 zip codes, what's what. We're going to go through the good news that we had that happened since the last summit, which was 30 days ago. We're going to go over rural reports. That's mainly Mississippi. We're going to go over our safety and youth agenda. So we're going to look at the violence and what's happening in our communities violence-wise. We're going to go through the entertainment conspiracy. And there's not really a conspiracy except for the fact that we are being conspired against. So we're going to talk about that. We go through the missing persons and the vacant buildings concept. The block wars is on there too. You see that at the 3:35 minute, the block war games. We may not talk about that because it's we're past where we need to be. We failed our final test of the year, so I may or may not discuss that. It's only 5 minutes, so if we do discuss it, fine. If not, it's not a big deal. But then we roll into our economic development and construction section. Then we go into how we spent money, our spending report cards. We go into taxation, what's happening to us from a tax perspective. We go into construction, and then name your four, which is you naming four Black businesses that you personally supported. Then at the 4 o'clock hour, that's when Governor Charles tap in because we're going over education, we're going over health, we're going over food. We go through the career linkages, we go through the awards, the teachers, we go through our health, food that we ingest and purchase. Then we move over into the policy and legal section. So we go over government report cards. We got to hold our elected officials accountable. Then we go on the laws on the books, anything we want to talk about from a legal perspective. We also talk about the mock trials for our young people, going to voter registration at 4:30. And then it's open forum. Then after that, you get to discuss whatever. You guys can text me, ping in, join us, and just give your commentary. But at 4:45, we do pause and talk about the G20. That's the global 20 rich economies that meet every year and discuss keeping blacks on the bottom, in my view. And then we close out with the Gary, Indiana conventions. Today is our lawyers convention every fourth Saturday of the month in July here in Gary, Indiana. And the next summit will be August 28th, Saturday, August 28th next year. So that's a lot of stuff to cover in just 2 hours. We will take breaks in between. So during those breaks, you can, do what you have to do, but we'll be pausing and then coming back on. So I'm gonna take that down now and we get right into it. So as I stated, the opening, we do the roll call. So I'm gonna go through the zip codes and then I'm gonna go through who we ideally would have on with us here and if they're gonna be able to make it or not. I do have a list of people that I hope will be able to make it. And if not, it's recorded, so they'll be able to catch up later. So on the west side, 60612 zip code is East Garfield Park. They're linked to Waukegan, Illinois. They're linked to Ghana in Africa. They manage all our scientists and chemists and biologists, and of course, Boston, Massachusetts. The leader for that zip code is our brother Byron Dickens. Byron won't be on. We need to support Byron's pushing for peace non-for-profit organization. It's challenging times for a lot of our people that's out there with their own organizations not trying, but are making a difference in people's lives. So that's Byron Dickens out there on the west side. Then we have, and just so everyone knows, that zip code has the largest medical district in America. So you got Rush, you got Cook County over there, you got the VA hospital, all of that stuff. So it's a zip code full of doctors, medical students, and so forth. And Malcolm X College has the best nursing program. So all of that stuff is right there in that zip code. Then we have 60623 zip code. That's our, for the whole month, tour zip code. That zip code is led by our superstar, Eric Strickland. We got Carol Giles over there assisting him and Karen Armstead. We got some superstars in that zip code. That's where I actually started at 14th and Springfield. That zip code is called North Lawndale primarily. And that zip code is linked to Senegal in Africa. So that's the Senegal flag there. It's linked to all our entertainers. It's linked to North Chicago. That's the suburb, and Los Angeles. Our superstar Olivia Tenson in LA. She helps us out there. Then you move on to 60624 zip code. That's led by Sandra Brinson. Sandra is our elder, so we won't hold her accountable for not being on here. The technology, is a challenge, and she gets frustrated. So she'll be to cuss me out if I can't get her on here. So we give Sandra a pass. But that zip code is called Garfield Park, west side of Chicago. They're linked to Atlanta, Georgia, Sierra Leone in Africa. Brother James Temba is our person in LA. Usi Man is our leader in Senegal. Sorry, I should have said that. Omdomski is our leader in Ghana. I should have said that too. So then we got 60624. That's our brother James. He's a photographer in Sierra Leone. They're linked to Atlanta, Georgia, and they manage all our police and firefighters nationwide. And so we're not expecting Sandra to be on today. 60639 is North Austin. They're linked to Memphis, Tennessee. They manage all our judges and our poets. They're linked to Nigeria. Our superstar Aishola out there in Nigeria. That's who do all our signs, and they in charge of all communications. Our leader is Tiffany. We're not expecting Tiffany to be on. 60644 is St. Louis. Well, it's South Austin in Chicago. That's zip code. They're linked to St. Louis, Missouri. They're linked to Ivory Coast in Africa. They manage all our lawyers in the country, and they're linked to Winnetka is the suburban area up there in North Chicago area. 60651 zip code is next. That is the Humboldt Park community. That zip code is linked to Birmingham, Alabama, Western Sahara in Africa. It's linked to all things dealing with chefs, caterers, restaurants, so all things dealing with food. And that zip code is led by a superstar over there, Jerome Altman. And so, Jerome, we expect you to be on, Jerome. All right. Then we move on to the south side of Chicago. Chicago is the global headquarters, you guys. So that's why that's important. Why we take this time to do the roll call, because it sets the stage for how we're structured. 60609 zip code is linked. That's New City community, south side of Chicago. That's around 51st and State Street all the way to Western. So it's a long zip code. It's linked to Detroit, Michigan. It's linked to Ethiopia in Africa. It's linked to all things dealing with the construction trades, carpenter, bricklayers, plumbers, welders. So that's a really important zip code. And this is a zip code that Black people are really losing in. Other ethnic groups are moving into that territory and we're leaving. So that's a zip code we're a little worried about. 60620 zip code is led by Pam Dominguez. She's in the midst of relocating now, so she's not going to be on, but we have talked, so I got her updates. That zip code is linked to Egypt in Africa, Norfolk, Virginia. It's responsible for all things dealing with animals and pets, so it's our veterinarian zip code. And that zip code is linked to, I didn't get a G20 members because it's linked to Turkey from the G20 standpoint, but it's linked to Lisle in Illinois, the white suburb. Then we move on to 60621 zip code, led by our superstar Tamila Miller. That zip code is called Inglewood as well. They're linked to New York City. They're linked to Sudan in Africa. They're linked to Hinsdale, Illinois, and they manage all things dealing with engineers, aeronautical engineers, technology, computers. So that zip code is managing those professions for us. Then we move over to 60629, led by Deborah Pryor. She's the governor for that zip code. That zip code is linked to Washington, D.C. That zip code is linked to Djibouti in Africa. They manage all things dealing with business owners. So that's a really big one. And they're linked to Clarendon Hills is the white suburb for them. Right across 60629 is our West Inglewood zip code, 60636. That's led by Governor Denise King, superstar Denise King. She is not expected to be on today. Her zip code is linked to San Diego, California. It's linked to Somalia in Africa. It's linked to all things dealing with farmers. So 60651 is all things dealing with processed food or food that's cooked, that's restaurant chefs and caterers, whereas this is the coming out of the ground. These are farmers. So Governor Denise leads that zip code. That zip code is also linked to Naperville in Illinois. So that's a real crucial zip code for us. And that zip code is also losing. A lot of Blacks have left that zip code and a lot of non-Blacks have moved in. So the South Side is really being penetrated by other people who have layers of support to help them encroach and move in starved out Black neighborhoods. Then we got 60652 zip code, more stable zip code. That's the Ashburn zip code, 79th and Western area. That's our superstar Brittany Corners should be on. Hopefully she'll be joining us, Brittany. And that zip code is linked to St. Paul, Minnesota. It's linked to Kenya in Africa. Our brother in Kenya, Joseph, we sent money to him this month. I'm gonna get every report what we did to Africa for Africa. And then it's linked to all things dealing with politicians. So that zip code is all our politicians there. Then we move over to the east side, And the east side, we got 60615 zip code, Governor Joe Merles. That's our leader for that zip code. Not expecting Joe to get on. Last name M, so it's not A through E. And that zip code is linked to New Orleans. It's linked to Congo in Africa. They manage all our travel agents and companies. And they also work with making sure that we stay connected with Bensonville, Illinois. Then we move over further south on the east side, and that is 60617. That's superstar Karen Barnes. So we hope Karen Barnes will be able to jump on here. I know she's doing community service today, so I hope she'll still be able to jump on. If not, she'll listen in. But that zip code is linked to Kansas City, Missouri, Tanzania in Africa. They manage all of our relationships with teachers in Chicago. And that zip code is linked to Itasca. That's the white suburb is linked to. Then we move on to 60619 zip code. That zip code is led by Erica Dunn. We expect Erica to be on. That's Chatham neighborhood. That zip code is linked to Angola in Africa. It's linked to Philadelphia in America. They manage all our investigators, the detectives. So all our missing persons go through this zip code, and they're very important for us. And that zip code, uh, 19, 60619, is linked to River Forest, Illinois. That's the white suburb. All right, then we move over to 60628 in the house. We got the governor here. So that zip code is led by Governor Charles Robinson. He serves a special detail. So even though his last name is R, he's managing and he's on every summit. He's on at 4 o'clock throughout the week. So he does extra duty. That zip code is linked to Dallas, Texas, South Africa. They manage all things dealing with our nurses, and they're linked to um, Stamberg. That's the suburb that they're linked to, the white suburb that they're linked to. All right. Then we're moving on over to 60637. That's Claudette Reddick. She's the leader for that zip code. Not expecting Claudette to be on. Her last name R, just like Charles Robinson's is. But that zip code is linked to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's linked to Zimbabwe. Our leader Sazul out there in Zimbabwe. Oh, and South Africa, Lady G. And we did send money to Lady G yesterday. For they broke in South Africa, stole all her new equipment for and doing hair. So we was able to send her $25, which is $400 in their money. And we're still hoping that the people of 60628 Governor Charles zip code can get their pennies in so we can send her some more. When things like that, demoralizing things happen, we want to make sure we can rally around and provide some support there. Then we have 60637 again, Claudette Reddick is that leader. And Milwaukee is linked to Zimbabwe, as I said. The suburb is Elgin, Illinois, where the mayor of Chicago is from. And they manage all our DJs, photographers, and artists. Then we move over to 60643. That's our brother, Governor Stephen Starks. That zip code is linked. It's called Washington Heights. That zip code is linked to Cleveland, Ohio, Botswana in Africa. And Bartlett is the white suburb that's linked to them, and they handle all our dentists and doctors. That's their role. Then we move over to today's duty day, which is 60649 zip code, South Shore. Every fourth Saturday is their once a month duty day. They're linked to Miami, Florida. So today is Miami, Florida's day. They're linked to Zambia in Africa. They manage all things dealing with sales and marketing for us. And the suburb they're linked to is called Hanover Park, the white suburb. Last and finally with the roll call is 60653 zip code. That zip code is we have Gloria Smith in that zip code we work with. We don't have a per se governor. We got our superstar brother who always checks in, and he did the Pennies to Africa walk, Rashid. So he's our district lead over there, Rashad, I mean. And that zip code is linked to Gary, Indiana. That zip code is linked to Namibia in Africa. Our brother Nelson Tukey out there in Namibia, Africa. Our pennies from Bronzeville from that zip code go to support our brother out there. They're linked to all things dealing with clerical, book authors, administration. That's their profession they manage. And, we want to coordinate with them to make sure we get all our administrative stuff together. So that's the roll call. I know it went way over where it was supposed to, but I wanted to give you guys that detail since we don't have anyone else on right now. And it is being recorded, so this is good for people to play back later. So the good news for the month, I put this down. I think June, let's first start with the bad. So it's the good news report, but I want to just say we fail. Every year we have 2 tests. We have a Memorial Day test and a 4th of July test. And the test is, can we get Black people to agree to pull together their money? And the money is so small that it's really, it says something when we don't do it. We have to move in groups of 1,000 to have real impact. So groups of 1,000 is really 4 different teams of 250 people. That's our 1,000. So the goal, the test every year is, did we move in a group of 1,000? And we didn't. We didn't get 1,000 people to send in $1 electronically. So we failed both tests, Memorial Day, and we failed June 30th this year. The consequence of failing the test is that time isn't on our side. We're downhill now with longer days going away, temperatures going down, people getting ready to go into hibernation mode. So we must get to the 1,000 on the upward trajectory, which is January to June, not the other way around, June to December. We're on the downward spiral at that point. So anyway, that's the bad news. We failed. One of the good parts of that is now we're gonna save more money, not spending so much money, being deployed and hosting meetings, having to feed people and all that stuff. The downside is people can't be all here with us, so we need to be out there in North Lawndale next month at Marquette Park. So the good news is we found a new partner that we're working with in Chicago, a block club, and they had a lot of graduates this year. So we're gonna talk about that. We gave money to that. We're gonna talk about how we partnered with an Inglewood group so that we can have our summit last month in June. There, that went well. That's gonna foster a good relationship going forward. Then, of course, the big thing is our opinions to Africa. That we got the report done. It takes us about a month to get that report done. So we did it June 14th. We got the report done. It looks good. I appreciate that. So those are my good things. July was a hot month. We still got like 5 days left in the month, so we still can get our numbers up in terms of people donating because it's really always in the deficit that we operate in. So the more support you can get to us, the more we'll be able to do more things, reach more people, and grow what we're doing. All right. Next is the rural town report. So this here is with Mississippi. So let me tell you guys, I did 2 videos with Mississippi people this month in July. The first one was with our brother Keithrick. He is a superstar black brother who's working with the children this summer in basketball. He got a promotion, if you will. He got a new space, so he put on a camp. I still want to get him some money before this month is out. So I'm counting on us, especially our 20-year-olds, well, our 18-year-olds who do the Nichols to Mississippi, because when we got people in our sanctuary state, which is Mississippi, we should be supporting them, I think. And so we want to encourage you to help us with your nickels. Pledge 20 nickels, that's $1, so we can get it to Brother Keithrick. And then we had an emergency situation in Mississippi with one of our leaders from Natchez, Mississippi. That's all the way south and west, whereas Brother Keithrick is north, more central. So again, our 18-year-olds all over the country helping us to get these 20 nickels to Mississippi will help in this instance here. But I say that's the update from a rural town perspective. We do have Bucksport, South Carolina, Coalfield, North Carolina, White Plains, Alabama. These are some of the blackest small towns in rural America. And so we definitely want to reinforce our support to them. So our 20 nickels go to support Mississippi, but also just rural towns in general. Then we have, we'll be moving over to our safety and youth. So we're going to give that, it says 5 minutes. We'll give it 3 minutes. So we'll be back at 3:25. Thank you for watching.
Hello? Okay, great.
What's going on, Sister Burns?
How
The governor.
are you?
I'm glad you got on. We got one more minute. We in our break.
Okay. I put my head in here with that. We'll see what that's on. Okay. Brother Si.
All right. We are ready to rock and roll. It's right next to it. All right, yo, you guys. So I was just talking about you. I said Sister Barnes should be on, and then I looked, and Governor Charles is in studio, so he's right here with me. And
Oh, okay.
so yeah, so he still go do his 4 o'clock, but he's watching me while I'm live. So all right, so we're on the violence section now, and so at 3:40. Yeah, just one circle. So on the violence section, you guys, unfortunately, Chicago made the news on 4th of July weekend, which is always, I've been doing this a long time, our most deadliest weekend, which is why June 30th is our deadline, because 4th of July weekend, I think it encompasses everyone now out of school, on vacation, so they're in relaxed mode. It's normally hot. People get agitated in the heat, and then people in kick it mode. And as the young people say, they want to wild out. And so that's why I believe we typically see the most murders and shootings 4th of July weekend in Black America, whether you're in LA, Cleveland, Chicago. Chicago was always off the charts, unfortunately. And we did. We had the incident that made global news where 18 people were shot, 5 died in one incident. And what that does from a violence perspective to me, it shoots holes through anyone proclaiming to be working to stop the violence. And so I'd be the first one to say on our end, we failed. We failed. And ultimately it's a spiritual warfare, but it's some physical things that we should be doing that we not. And that's the sad part about it. So these 5 people that transitioned was part of, I think, altogether 13 people that weekend that died. Is just unacceptable. Same thing in LA, Detroit. And we're seeing on the violence end, and Sister Barnes, you get your thoughts on this too. We're seeing more promotion of wilding out and being as low vibration as I can be on the internet. And it makes me go viral and people want to see it. You see more clicks for negative than you do positive. So you guys know our philosophy is this. At the end of the day, when we talk about this violence and Black violence, because it's different violence. I ain't talking about white on white violence. I ain't talking about Hispanic. I'm talking about Black violence. That's what I know. That's what I spend my life working on. And our violence is different. Our violence is different than Hispanic violence. Our violence is different than white violence. Our violence is more spiritual. It's more soulful. It's personal, and it's hinged on the biggest thing: disrespect. That's it for us. Whereas the other ones, it might be about drugs. It might be about controlling territory. Ours is personal.
Yeah.
You do something wrong to me, and I feel disrespected, I might blow up, go 0 to 10, and that has a long history of our trauma that we've been through. What do you say? What do you think, Sister Barnes, about the violence this month?
When you mentioned that, that reminded me of a song from years ago when it said, "Don't push me because I'm close to the edge." People are on edge for everything. With Blacks, unfortunately, being at the bottom of the totem pole economically in most situations, everybody's on the edge. A lot of people are living like they rich, pretending to be rich. They not rich. It's just so obvious. And any little thing that insults
Anything.
them or brings them down, It's a whole war. It's not even a fight, which would be too much. It's a whole war. But
Yeah.
I think you couldn't just kill a person if you felt really good about yourself. You can't make me believe that you would value yourself and think so less of the next person.
Yeah. Yeah.
People with
Yeah.
little self-esteem who are you have just attacked that little bit that they have, and they're ready to do anything in the world to you, and it's very sad. I think that us who live in, with love should share love. Share love to the best of our ability, because thank God we're not there. If you say something to me, I know how to just kind of brush that off. Yeah.
That's powerful. Spread love. And I would say spread love on steroids. Because right, we want to spread love, but we gotta be intentional, specific. We gotta drive that love into these zip codes where it might be an absence of it.
Right.
And so I would say definitely that's the antidote. And we just gotta be real overwhelming with it because they need to be surrounded where love is the answer to everything. And so they feel less comfortable doing the opposite of that, you know. Uh, but while we on the violence piece, because the next part of that is the entertainment conspiracy, and I'm on record all the time saying there's profit in seeing us behave the way we behave. People literally make money. They take insurance policies out on the artists. So
Mm.
when they die, they get paid. Not the family of the young man that's been killed or the sister, but the company making money off of that and not giving it back to the zip code where they come from, but promoting their son. Your brother, you want to turn?
Mm.
Your brother got killed, but you want to keep the legacy going? You
Mm.
know, so the entertainment conspiracy part. What's your thoughts on yesterday when we had our conversation and I showed you guys, we showed the elders some debauchery video with some real bad words on that. What was your take on that you saw yesterday?
You know, I didn't mention it yesterday, but my thought really took me back to the Real Housewives. I started watching that late, and these are supposed to be your elite women, the most beautiful, the most wealthy. These supposed to be your top women, and
I
you
never
still.
watched it, so sorry.
Oh, you never watched it? Well, it
Our
is
audience may
addictive.
have watched it though, so they may know what you're talking about.
It is addictive because everybody's beautiful. Everybody has their hair done, the designer clothes on, living in mansions, and they're fist fighting. They're cursing each other out. The whole premise kind of is like signifying on each other. It always starts out, let's get along, and then the next thing you know, it escalates over nothing.
Yeah,
Now, some of the women
yeah.
come out and say the producers have us doing that because, just like you said, it sells, it makes money. And if the upper echelon is doing this, what would you think the younger women could do? Now, I'm going to say something that is offensive, but now a lot of the housewives, they're married, they have their husbands or their boyfriends, but they mess around with each other. And
No, we can't hide away from that. Yeah,
if you see that on TV with your creme de la creme, what do you think the next girl's gonna do
big
who
time,
doesn't have a man, who
big
she
time.
would be willing to date a man, but nobody approached her, and she's not gonna approach anybody, and her friends so love you, and the next thing you know, it's been
Yep,
said that this kind of love is okay.
yeah.
You,
And like you said, that's intentional. That's no mistake.
yeah,
It's no mistake.
yeah, because they teach it in school. They teach it
Yeah,
in elementary school that all of these things are okay when they should be telling children the highest way you can live. The highest way you can live, not to accept all the things that people do. People do 100 million different things, but
right.
tell children what's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, but I would say this, like for one, what sells?
Yeah.
Blacks on the bottom sells. It's expected. I had a person call me, asked about my house, and they was Asian, and I said, you called the wrong person. I said, because I'm telling you right now, I have a problem with other races of people trying to buy real estate in Gary, Indiana. This has been legendary where white flight took place, a black city, and it's been neglected. It's called the ghost town. It's called the worst city in America. And now here you come, not to help, but to profit off it. Like, and then she said, "No, I'm not trying to do that. It sounds like you're being racist." I said, "See." I said, "Listen, what you just said. I'm being racist because you're disturbing me, and you want to buy my property away from me. You know it's cheap because I'm in the city I'm in, so you want to buy my cheap property, not worry about where I'm gonna go. Then I'm not gonna be able to buy no property as cheap as it is here, and you okay with that?" I said, "So what it really is you're comfortable with me being on the bottom. You comfortable with blacks being on the bottom. So just get rid of your house, go somewhere, but let me get this cheap property." And she was like, "Well, I don't mean that," but I said, "You see what I'm saying? You're calling to take away, not to add value." And
Yeah.
I said, a lot of people comfortable with that. Just take, 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 take. And I said, you called the wrong person because I preached this to a bunch of people. So she took my name off the list. So
They make a mistake and call you again.
yeah, they call because, and I want people to be confident saying what I just said.
Yeah.
Like, people are so comfortable and expect us to be on the bottom. They expect it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you wrong if you don't want to be on the bottom. Like, oh, how dare you know where you're supposed to be, boy? Get your butt on the bottom.
Mhm.
So yeah. So don't sell your houses, y'all. I want to launch a campaign for Black people. Don't sell your houses. Let's find a way to internalize, lease it to someone for 30 years, whatever. But keep that equity, keep that real estate.
I'm glad
So that
I want to just say one more thing. In the city of
yes,
Chicago, is changing a lot. But if you're not a home owner, it doesn't matter that you live there. The people who own there, those are the people who control the city, not the people who live there, unless they're homeowners.
key owners, and the other piece with being a home owner, after 3 or 4 years you can take equity out, buy another piece of property. Like, you can increase what you have, and but if you renting, you can't. All that rent you paying is vanished. That's it. So we encourage people, and that's a big piece of our overall strategy. ITR, information travel real estate. That's how we're going to rebuild the Black economy, is through those three means. And
Yeah.
so real estate is the driving force there. So let's move over to missing persons, and vacant buildings. So the vacant buildings tied to the real estate part. Right now, I would say Chicago isn't as bad as, like Gary's starting to improve, but the abandoned buildings in Chicago are being sold, bought up so much that it's not as big of a deal when we used to talk about this 10 years ago. Like,
Mm.
you had to worry about the red X. You remember the red X? You
Right.
had to worry about missing people being inside those vacant buildings, but now they're gobbling them up. So it's not as bad. Gary is starting to see some improvements with the vacant buildings, but it's still rape hazards, fire hazards all over. And we want to make sure that we encourage our people on the block to make sure we document. So, like, what was there before. So if something new come there, and y'all know, we want you to write down license plates and get it to 312-405-8844. Text it. Date and time is stamped on there when you send the text. But we want any suspicious cars, we want to keep them in the registry. So get that in. And I say that because our missing persons, we got a battle on multiple fronts. One is missing persons for sexual reasons. One is missing persons for organs, harvesting, research, and the melanin in our bodies is worth a whole lot. And there's people out there who pay for that. And when people say conspiracy theories, this is what I say. This 400 years has been a conspiracy. So that's a real conspiracy. So when you say anything that we say counter to what they do every day, all the time, that's the real conspiracy. So I put the mirror up to people who say that. What do you think about that? All of that, the vacant buildings, the missing persons, you being a female, Black women are the most missing in America. 37% of all FBI cases are you guys. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm going to give a real conspiracy theory with all this foolishness that's been going on. With the little girls that were missing here, everybody in Chicago's heart went out for Diamond and Tianda. And now that I found out that there was a whole island that kids were going to, okay, that's scary. But another, you can call it a conspiracy theory, is back in the 70s when I was in school, our science teacher told us that there's a cure for cancer, but it's only in male penises that had never ejaculated. It was the cure for cancer, and it was called interferon. And
Mm,
several years later, all the little boys came up missing in Atlanta, where the Centers for Disease Control is. And those were
headquarters.
young boys. Those were boys who hadn't been sexually active. Two,
Wow.
3, less than 5 years later, Ronald Reagan had cancer and he was cured of his cancer with interferon.
Now, why you not brought that up on the Friday call?
I don't know. It just came today. It just came today. It just came to my mind because it comes to my mind a lot. And you know what? I did some of it on my computer. I put it in my notes. I'm gonna send it to you. But we started talking and talking, and it just never came up. But yeah,
That's deep. We definitely gonna look into that. We showed how much they were selling melanin for. I showed the website and everything. So don't it's not a conspiracy when people are making money off it. Like just know that.
right.
So
Now let me say the last part though. This is what else
uh
said. Once they had so much of it, they'd be able to duplicate it. But they needed a foundation first. And they got that foundation because interferon is a cure for cancer.
that's deep. That's
Yeah.
deep. But we shouldn't be surprised. They get no benefit of the doubt when they, for 40 years, gave syphilis to black men and watched them go home to their wives and infect them. What type of spirit is that? What type of human being is that? What type of soulless person is that? So they get no benefit of the doubt and they still ain't tried to reconcile that. So that's unrepentant behavior. And now these are their grandchildren now grown and messing up the next version of the world. So that's a problem for us. So I want to talk about the block war games. I wasn't going to talk about it, but since you got on, I'm going to introduce it because you haven't heard me talk about this. But the block war games is a concept, and literally you use the loose change, penny, nickel, dimes, and quarters, right? But it's a little bitty board game like Monopoly. And what you do, you flip the coin, heads or tails, and that'll dictate what you do. But you move around these spaces, and it's a block. It's like 4 blocks around a circle. And on one block is real life stuff. Single mom household with 3 sons. The next house over, killer, raper. The next house over. So literally, it's all these scenarios that's real to us in our communities. And where you land at, what you got to deal with. So if you flip the dime and they say go 10 spaces, each way, and you land on a house with a rapist, you in the house with the rapist. You know what I mean? And the goal is to get across the whole board without landing on nothing treacherous, nothing bad. Because you got good blocks too. Christian block, Muslim block, house, no issues. So that's where you want to be landing at. But the purpose of this game is for us to sit back, you with your family, and you play this game. You like, dang, it's a reality check, man. Man, what will we do if it's a serial rapist next door? What will we? This is what we see, hearing about on a print board, and you going around this game trying to figure out how you go deal with each scenario where you land at. And whoever get around the board without as much damage, that's who wins. What do you when you hear something like that? What you think about that?
That's an interesting concept. It's similar to the Monopoly game that became so famous. And
Mm-hmm.
during the time when all those railroads were very popular, this
Mm-hmm.
is something for very heartbreaking for inner city people, especially. But then rural
Mm-hmm.
people, we just don't know what they go through. They go through some of the same stuff because it's humans. But
Yeah.
how do you get out of jail, Frio? If you get in the guy's house, how do you get how do you get out of there? Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be my only question. But that's interesting because
Yeah.
it's something that people deal with every day. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. One household on there, they got no food. That's what it's designed to do right there. It's gonna make you say, man, this is our life, man. What the heck? How we get out of this? Like, what? Let me flip over. That's the purpose of it. What you just did. This is real life, and the boule, the black elite, black country, they can't even play the game.
Mm.
This for black day-to-day people or black bad shapes, so that we can look and see, dang, man, I don't even want to be on this block. Let me hurry and get past this block. Because this block is treacherous, So,
it's
but
a
yeah, that's the purpose.
to get out of your spot, I guess. Some credits you could get. You could get a free food bank or give a person.
Yeah, yeah. But think about it. Children get to play this game too.
Yeah.
They live it. They know when there's no food in the refrigerator.
Mm,
They know it when, you know what I mean? So this is a sober game. And on the flip side, and we this won't be in the game, but whoever's on the corner houses, they're in a unique position on every block. The corner houses in a unique position because they can see the next block over, whereas the person in the middle can't. And so with this, we kind of set it up. Any predator coming on your block, unless you got vacant lots, that's the difference. But when they come, you got the beginning and the end of the block. Do those four people have each other's number? Because that's your block. You know, so when we start talking about the war games, are we organized so we know who's coming on the block? Which vacant lot can people transverse through your block? So if someone do come through and do a shooting, stuff like that. So this whole block war games is designed to put real scenarios in front of us and to get your memory thinking about, man, what if, oh, it makes sense for me to have my neighbor's phone number. We got one called the four-way force field. That's having the phone number of the neighbor in front of you and back of you on the left and right of you. That's your force field. You got their number, they got your number. So if someone is in the alley, someone can call, hey man, be careful going to your garage. I see somebody back there. If they don't have your number, they can't even call you. They can just call the police. But so that's the purpose of the block war games, is to get us thinking about how we respond to these scenarios.
And your four corners are your security, I would assume. That was your security.
Yeah. I call it force field. That's your force field. And I had people tell me, I'm in tour with my neighbor on the right, so I don't want them. So he can't be my force field. Charles, you got that too, right? So you might not want your neighbor next door. That might be your op, but so Charles saying that's the case in a lot of instances. So the mitigation of that, get the person next to them. So now you got them surrounded. So there you go. That's how, but don't let them scare you away.
That's good.
But you mentioned something about rule. And I think that's a big part of the ignorance. Like most of us actually in rural places in the South. Majority, 41% of us is in the South. That's rural, most of it, except for Atlanta, Birmingham, the big cities. And they suffer in silence. See, when we suffer, it's broadcast, it's publicized. You know, they ain't even got Wi-Fi in some place. They trying to shoot a video, it's gonna be staticky, you know. And don't be mad at me, my people in rural America. I'm just saying, you know how Wi-Fi is, broadband is. So they suffer in silence. They gotta, if they don't have a car, they can't get to the food pantry 5 miles away, 10 miles away. And so again, the way we're structured, with the way we're set up, that's the travel. Remember, our biggest economy is ITR, information, travel, real estate. So imagine our people in urban America sitting around the gas station doing nothing, but now they on deployment and they going into the rural places, adding value to their life.
Yeah.
They feeling good because they got somewhere to go. They got somewhere to be. And where they going, they finna bring joy to people. Like, that feel good saying it. You know what I mean? So rural America, y'all are part of our whole process. So yeah, let's make sure. All right, we moving over to economics now. So I would say this: the goal always is to get 1,000 people sending $1. That's basic, right? That's not the end all be all, but that's fundamental. And so just know that spending $1,000 is should be easy. That should be easy. We spend no matter what $600 to $700 just to exist, just with the static bills, utilities, stuff like that. So when we do get our 1,000 people $1, we're going to use that for growth, not retention. We foot the bill with retention. We find a way to get that $700 a month. So the 1,000 go be the growth. And once we got that 1,000 people, then we go say, give us your spouse, your mate. Now we at 2,000. So just know that from the economic standpoint, that's the linchpin, is getting the 1,000 people. And a new person says, "Si, that should be easy." I said, I've been doing this. This has been the biggest battle of my life ever. And I served in the military. This is the toughest battle because people don't realize this $1 is hinged upon minimum You got to be aware of it. That's a barrier, being aware of it. Once you're aware of it, then you got to make a decision. So that's when doubt and disbelief come in, all that type of stuff. So you got to make a decision. You battle with yourself. I need a dollar too, you know, all that stuff. And then when you make the decision, if you say I'm gonna do it, then you got to execute and do it. We got a lot of people say I'm gonna do it, they ain't did it because execution is the closeout. You got to do what you say, and so we lose probably 20% who said it and just haven't done it yet. So
Now,
so I just want people to know it's a battle. What was you gonna say to that?
it's $1 a month, right?
Yeah.
And still have to make the decision. They drive past a lady and her little baby under the viaduct. They're going to give them $1. But $1 to build up a network of
In their zip code.
It's just too much. It's too much. Why is it a thought? Because it shouldn't even be a thought. Your dollar is disposable.
But do we have examples on who was able to do this? Like, where's our models to say, man, we go copy them? Like, where's the model at? So that's part of the problem. At least if Burger King opened up right next to McDonald's, they benefit because they can feed off each other's customers. The husband might want McDonald's, wife want Burger King. We ain't got nobody to feed off of. This is it. We on the island, so it's taking longer because we got to try and win over everyone to this idea. But the biggest thing I like to share on this part with the spending part, think about it this way. The dollar isn't for National Block Club University. It's for your zip code. So money in, money out in your zip code. So that's the trust factor in your zip code. When I get to the award section, I'm going to talk about a block that received $160 from us last month. And they received it as an award to their graduates. So the key with that is, did that zip code donate $160? And they did. They did. So you can say deficit. And that's how, with all our spending, we can, okay, all right, we pay for gas for 3 people over there, how much came in? Like every zip code, we go through that. So we can give you your deficit report because there's always a deficit. We always spend more in our zip codes, but that's okay because we do have to prove where your dollar is going. That's a legitimate question, and we want to be able to show we went door to door in your zip code. That cost us. If we had people in gas had to drive to put the knock on that door, which is why I tell people the biggest thing is who you think isn't important. They're important because if we need someone on 63rd and Damon and your mother live on 64th and Damon, we burn gas going to 63rd and Damon to meet someone, and we could have just talked to you. And you could say, my mama over there. You would have saved us gas. So the spending is always, we call it housing, awards, travel, training, and manpower. Those are the 5 things, even when we're dealing with $12 million a year, which is the basic goal, $1 million a month times 12 months. So we already know majority of that money, $4.8 million out of 12 million is for the awards. It's our biggest expenditure because the biggest thing we want to be able to do is see them young people smiling and being rewarded in every zip code. Like that we talk about dream, that's the dream. Out of $12 million, which is, 4.8 million of that is going for that young people. Can you imagine? Yeah, can you imagine what that looks like in Chicago? And that's just Chicago alone.
Now that you mention it, Brother Si, I can, because it'll help with some of the trauma.
Help us. She said trauma. That's right there. She said it, and that's already written right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What was you saying?
Some of that generational pain. Some people don't. As they always say, speak good into your kids. Some people don't. But even if your mouth forgot to say it, somebody else is saying it. Your baby's still feeling proud because they got that award. Yeah.
And some people, they say on the radio, you listen to the radio, I never won anything. These are grown. They at least 25 years old. I never won nothing in my life. And they 25 and up. So to win at 14, to win at 12, you can't say that no more. We just took your never statement away forever. Hey, what's up, Yvette? I see you joined. Thank you for joining, Yvette. So the awards is our biggest expenditure. The second biggest expenditure is travel.
Mm-hmm.
Travel. $2.6 million is just to be on the go. We
Mm.
need to say that we need you in Boston 3 days. Bang, bang, bang. That's where the housing budget comes in. But travel, because we got to take this good news all over Black America. And with the awards, when you travel, you referencing what we did. Now what we talking about, you showing pictures in Detroit, in St. Louis, on young people being recognized. That's the receipt. So imagine the awards allowed us to take the receipts on the go all to 20 cities in Black America. Like that's why those two are the biggest budget items. Then of course manpower, because we want permanent jobs for people. We want people. This is their full-time job. So we want 2.4 million is just so we got permanent people on the staff on the payroll, and then the housing. And the housing is tricky because housing isn't just a house. The housing is hotels, it's rental space when we do the summits and we pay people to be in their space. So it's anything dealing with space. And so if you traveling out of town for us, that's built into the budget. And so when we talk about 1 million Black people doing $12 million, it's going to allow us to make sure that people are traveling. We're going to make sure that people are getting awarded, jobs are being created, and the training. Training is our second least one because everything we do is training.
Yeah.
But when we have you go and talk to a university and teach them about the 7-day living habits, you know what I mean? That's training on steroids because you're talking to a lot of people. What's your thoughts on that spending concept?
I like it. And I especially was thinking about the travel. Now we spending money in this city with these people, and we come in and helping to build the communities and getting people to see the design so that they'll want to build their communities. We've got a bad rap all over America because people have heard negative things about Blacks and they easily say it. You saw something horrible. Yes, you can repeat that, but nobody said about the stuff that's good that you saw. And so you don't repeat that. You don't repeat that.
With the travel, looking to you.
So, Charles just brought up, and to some people who may not know our track record, we got videos. We got like 600 videos on YouTube of Charles' daughter meeting Dr. King III on his porch.
Oh, that's
in Atlanta.
Oh, that's nice.
So we do this. We're not talking. This ain't no wish list. This is what we have done. And there's video proof in Birmingham when they killed Mike in St. Louis and they killed Mike Brown. They're on the ground. It costs to do this, and that's again why the $1 concept is everything. Because 4 quarters to do this massive scale of global and national improving the quality of life is worth it. You know. So yeah,
definitely worth it.
All right. So no, go ahead.
People who haven't been out of the city, when you hit the South and you smell that air and you see all that beautiful land, when you see stars for the first time, hey.
You know, and I say this on the travel part because it's deep for us. If your family can't afford for you to travel, we should not say, oh, well, that child we don't invest in could be the killer of your child.
Yeah, that's true.
And we need to look at it. What's the village? My child's your child. So $1, convincing all my people to do $1 so that other people's children can get exposed, positively exposed, linked, like Charles said, to their career profession.
Yeah.
Any of our children, you're guaranteed at least 3 things from each of our children we work with. They're gonna guarantee introduce themselves, looking you and I, all right, and they're gonna tell you what their future is. I'm 13-year-old such and such. I am a future engineer. They're gonna tell you that, and they're gonna tell you what country in Africa, because we drill it in them, that is in charge of that. So I'm a 13-year-old future engineer. Engineers are linked to Sudan and Africa. And later we go teach them to go and find out the language, the ethnicities in Sudan. So the point is, we giving you, if you don't know your career, we go give you one. You can change it, but you ain't gonna be in here with amongst us talking about I don't know.
That's
I
good.
don't know, don't fly. So I don't know, don't fly. So we ain't going for that. Taxes. And the piece here with taxes, because we're talking about economics, is the government don't exist without taking the money you get.
Mm-hmm.
Government, municipalities, federal, all of that, they live off of taxation.
Absolutely.
So, and y'all know, Boss Tea Party, taxation without representation. So, who is not being represented is us.
Mm.
Our taking of taxes, and really we being double taxed. If you really look at it, you paying your state tax, you paying your county, the county taxes, normally your property taxes. You got local taxes in some instances, you got your federal taxes. Then you got the taxes called sales. Whenever you buy something, they even got something called use tax. Use, just to use something. Got to get taxed.
Yeah.
So all this taxation, and then they decide where they want to spend your money.
Yep.
Your money. That's your money. And their priorities is where they spend your money at. And so we want to always make sure people know that the way we're structured and set up, the accountability will be where we want our money to be spent.
Right.
And as we get stronger, we're going to be able to really put that demand in front of them. There's a, I won't say the state because I like this person, but there's a state where a politician set aside $10 million for their sorority, for their fraternity. And under no circumstances is this acceptable to me. None. And I like this person. It's not acceptable. It's no way that any state tax dollars should be spent on anybody's personal or private thing. I don't care if they've been doing it. I don't care if it does is unacceptable. It should never be accepted. It's too much hurt out here. It's too much pain in the streets to justify that. And it's their money. It's Charles. It's their money. So
That's
to me, it's you can never reconcile with me. I don't care who did it before. Unacceptable. Yeah. So any thoughts on that taxation piece?
Even if it was all the sororities or fraternities, that's still a big ask. It couldn't have just been one specific one. That's
Oh,
crazy.
it was one specific. No, it was one specific.
About the rest of them not rioting, but the you know, it's so crazy because people lose track that the government is funded from our money. The government is not funded from a certain group of billionaires who give into the government. The government is funded from all of our money. And
Yes.
percentage wise, we pay more than the wealthier people. And it's so funny because I was listening to the governor of California, and he was saying, the federal government was saying, we're not going to send you such and such. And he was like, if they don't send it, fine. If we stop sending you our money, you'll have way less.
Yeah.
Because you don't send us the same money back that we send
Right.
to you.
Yeah.
And the same for the cities.
Yeah.
People living in big cities. The cities are funding the state. These little bitty towns in the state couldn't make it without getting some money from people in the city going through the governor, but still city money.
Yeah. Chicago in particular. So Chicago is the budget for Illinois. so that's Chicago is. So while downstate complains about everything Chicago, that's where bulk of y'all money come from. The bulk of y'all money come from Chi-Town. So they should flex their muscles because
sometimes I go in small towns, everybody's got a house. They might have
you want
two
to get on?
apartment buildings. And they say, yeah, everybody has their own house. Nobody's on top of each other, but you couldn't live like that without people who live on top of each other paying their share of taxes.
Yeah, and taxation never been what it should be. The rich always found a way to finagle their way out of paying. So, but to this illegal migrant stuff, that is the biggest blasphemy ever, because you cannot justify putting money into people who you haven't taken care of, people who died without an inheritance, died without reparations. So to me, that is, I never accept that. I'm all for immigration, but immigration should be done after reparations. After reparations, then we can talk about how those people can come here. They can work for the people who are rich now off of reparations. look at that. We helping humanity out, but to do it the way they doing it, I die believing that this is wrong.
And we didn't get an ask. Nobody asked us, do you want to, because after people were voted in, then they started giving immigrants money,
yeah.
food, $1,000, housing, a rental that was $2,500 that your average foundational Black American could never.
It's so serious. And you saw the video I played yesterday with the brother breaking it down. People dying, and you're making us feel sorry for someone else, but there's a foundation, and the foundation you're not taking care of, so everyone can fall through the cracks when you don't take care of the foundation. So of course there's pain and hurt among people all around the world, but you cover home base first, and now with home base covered, now we can help others. But you don't, what good is you putting a life vest on the infant on the airplane and you don't have yours on? Now, the infant ain't gonna know how to take care of themselves, so you gotta cover the base, and then the base can take care of the infant,
And they say charity begins at home. Take care of your people first, every day.
Yeah. So the next section is our construction. So Reverend Taylor, you guys know Reverend Taylor, y'all seen him. Reverend Taylor's a plumber by trade. He is our example on when we circulate money, how it comes back. So Reverend Taylor being a plumber, plumbers all over the world is linked to 12th graders. So Reverend Taylor twice out of his own pocket have supported the $100 12th grade awards. So he literally got under his belt 2 18-year-olds who are 12th grades that he personally put money on. That was, one of them was, I ain't gonna say they were stuck in Gary, Indiana, and without that support, they couldn't get back 3 hours away in Indianapolis. So that support was right on time, and that makes you feel better as a person when you got layers of support. And so we want to make sure that all our grades, K through 12th grade, know the professions linked to them, so that way they'll have that support. But under construction, just so everyone know, all plumbers, 12th graders, all electricians, 11th graders, all carpenters got 3rd graders, our landscapers got 4th graders, 10th graders are the roofers. So like when you get your roof done, you're helping the 10th grade out. Like that feels good. And we want to preach this. We want to keep putting this out there so people can start to visualize, yes, we can spend our money and know it's coming back to help the children in our zip code specifically. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's community. That's a community that people might not even expect, because I'm sure they didn't even know Reverend Taylor, and here he comes to the rescue. So yeah.
Matter of fact, the grandmother, she asked, because I said I need a picture. She said, "This ain't no pedophilia stuff, is it?" And I told her, I reassured her. I said, "Look, I ran for mayor, so I'm not, my record been checked." So, but I told her no. She said, "Well, why would you do this?" I said, "It's not me." I said, "It's Reverend Taylor. I'm the conduit." And she was like, "Wow!" She just couldn't believe it. And we love people who can't believe stuff like that. Charles is on here. When we take the teenagers out of town, we have a certain amount of money that we just surprise people and bless them with. And Charles, are you on, Charles? Yeah, he'll get on in a minute. But they be surprised. Like, man, y'all just out of the blue came all the way to St. Louis. We bought groceries one time and took it to their house and stuff like that. But it's sowing good seeds. And it's taking away that don't nobody never statement. So but on the construction project, I do want to just put out there in Ford Heights, Illinois. I met the mayor this month in Ford Heights, humble spirit, can work with him easily. They're building container homes on a big old plot of land, and the container homes are going to be for the people that's in public housing, so they can at least stretch out and have their own house. So that's a great project, and it's going to be with solar, so they don't have to worry about ComEd and all that stuff in Illinois. And Reverend Taylor and his network, the African American plumbers contractors, are going to be heavy with that, along with Omar Sharif. So that's it for the construction. Any thoughts on that?
No, that's wonderful.
Get access to the plants.
Oh, it won't let you? Let me see. All right. The governor can't use his mic. All right.
All right.
Oh yeah, it's deep. Yeah, it's deep. Yeah.
So I just found
You can come off and you can just speak loud so they can hear you. That way we won't get that echo. You hear the echo?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, so just come off totally. So yeah. All right. So y'all will hear Charles, he go just speak loud. So all right. And so now we get into the name your four. And I want to really stress why this is such a big deal. So you heard the good news about all the grades being linked to the different professions and all that stuff. But if we don't support them, if we don't spend money with them, if we're hiring Mexicans to come in and do plumbing and Reverend Taylor go out of business, you think 12th graders go get support? No. So the name your four is designed so that we can be accountable to ourselves.
Yeah.
Name your four is about every Wednesday being economic day. That's a habit for us every Wednesday. There's 4 Wednesdays at least every month. Sometimes it's 5, but so to be accountable, can you name 4 Black businesses that you personally spent money with that month? This is personal. Like my wife can't use my 4. She got to use her own 4. We went out and ate yesterday and I paid for it. And she's like, no, I need to pay for it for my 4. So that's what you want. You want fights over spending money with Black businesses. But if you can't name 4, if you can't name 4 at the end of the month, hopefully you take it personal. Say, man, I went 30 days and 4 businesses I didn't put no money into. They got rent, overhead, staff, employees. Man, we hope people take that person because if we don't support it, we know other races not going to go and support them. So let me then circulate some money with them. So at least, even if I don't get the product or service, I just want to do my part, which is a small part. So with that, name your 4. If you can't name 4, we've already put together a Cash App list, Zelle list, where you could just send $5 to 4. And if you already bought from 2, then you just got to send $5, or we want you to send $5 to the last 2, whichever 2 out of the 4 you select. But we want to see Black people take this personal, that every month I can name 4.
Yeah.
And if we got reparations today and we haven't built the habit of naming 4, this is a minimum habit. Chinatown, Greektown, Little Italy can name 20. If we can't name 4 and we got reparations today, I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, Karen and Charles?
One thing,
Go ahead, Kevin. You first.
one thing is, if we get reparations today, we just be feeding the economy because we give it all right back to them, number one. But number two, I was telling my son the other day that, because I am always pro-Black. And younger people, they like, hey, we all together. We just all together. And it's not a thing that you hate other races, but if things got really bad, people gonna go with their own. And you out here trying to go with all the other races, you're gonna be the only one left. Because no disrespect to any ethnicity, but they gonna gather together. They say it now. All the Chinese gonna help Chinese. All the Latinos gonna help Latinos. All the Irish gonna help Irish. First, if there's nothing, if we're to the place where there's nothing and we scrambling around like they doing in Palestine, people gonna help their people. They're gonna help their community
It's
first.
the first law of nature, though. The first law of nature is self-preservation.
Yeah,
Yourself and yourself is your people. Like first, so we get tell them about Hina, Hena. And your people who bringing that up, they kumbaya love everyone. Tell them you ain't even got your last name. You the only one who ain't got your last name.
Mm.
All
Or
your people you
go back.
kumbaya with, you ain't got your last name.
Right. That's right. That's right. This not
And
hate. This is about we can build us a foundation right here with America, who our forefathers helped build. We can build a foundation right here. Everybody else can go back to Mexico if they want. They can go over to China if they let it get real hard up here in America. Those people know where to go back to.
And I would say this, and we go hear from Charles. I would say this also. We want people to, especially the young people you're talking about, who they're born in a generation where it's all kumbaya.
Yes.
I would want to make sure that they're educated that the kumbaya, but there's a certain group on the bottom globally. So it's kumbaya, we having a good time, but you on the bottom. Who got the worst credit scores in America? You do. Who got the highest interest rate for their cars? You do. Like if you go into the number, who got the highest infant mortality rate? You do. So that takes away the kumbaya because you on the bottom and everybody's comfortable as long as you on that bottom. What you gonna say, Charles?
Hey, good evening, my good people. Yes, I'm hanging out here with Cy. Let me explain how I got over here. My wife went to a bridal shower in Hammond, so I know we was doing the summit today. So I just told Cy, I'll just swing over there with you. That way I could stop back, pick up, and then we get back to Chicago.
So he's using me, y'all. That's the point.
Oh, he don't have
We
to
do
go
it
to
to
the
each other.
bridal
We do
shower?
it all the time to each other. We brothers, so we do it to each other all the time. But I'm glad to be hanging out here with Cy at his command center. This is where all this stuff happened, these flags and all this work I'm sending around. I'm just
He's
going through it all.
6,000 pieces of paper
Going through it
around.
all,
So.
man. I'm like, I have a logistic nightmare trying to even handle slightly part of this stuff. But he the genius in the brains. We all are in our own capacity and way.
That's right.
But just like we're talking about the reparations, yeah, you are right, ma'am and Cy. If we can't do the little, how we gonna do the big? First of all, what are our people? Okay, it goes on. What knowledge have we acquired since being in this position of what they landlocked us into? First of all, we look at the land. We was here. We the smart ones because we was here first. We wouldn't even come out of Africa because we spread it out all over the world.
Yeah.
First of all, that's the lie they tell us. Like we just come from one place. We can't believe that. We got to start debunking a lot of this stuff first.
But all mankind came from Africa.
Yeah. I'm just saying before they even came up to be a topic of discussion or.
No, I say that because
I know
because some of our people they want to refute that.
Yeah,
no. All people from
First of all, we came out of that hub because everything was connected. All land was connected to that.
Yes, sir.
First of all, and that's part of knowing where you're from. Yeah. That's the educational piece of knowing where you're from. And then mathematically, we did math. We've been doing math and stuff like that, but we got pulled away and it torn down. That's what's keeping us on the bottom because it's a purpose to keep us on the bottom. So we got to start putting financial literacy together in our young people now. We got to get them what we know, what we can learn together with them to get ourselves to a thing of valuing what to value. You know, what to value, what generational we want to do with each other.
Yeah.
To head this stuff off without you giving us reparations. That'll be our reparation.
Hey, we're gonna do themselves.
I know they got ourselves. I'm saying that's our plus the thing is it'll never go away because it's old.
It's old.
It's old. That'll never go away. The creator ain't gonna allow that to go away.
There you go.
We're gonna get paid.
I agree with that.
With that one. But yeah, I mean the educational aspect of it is that's the thing now. It's a retool. I call it recolonize. We got to recolonize our people.
Do for self.
All over with the do for self method. No matter where we at right now, we just got to stop. Like they say, stop what you're doing. This is way more important than everybody think it is.
Yeah,
it's bigger than us.
It's bigger than individuals.
If we don't start, we'll steady creep down the way we're going. We don't want to go backwards.
Now, on the education side, you being a teacher, and I saw a post, you know, they be listening. So when you say something, the next thing you know, you see the ads pop up. So they heard me talking and they posted up, teachers need to have money during the summer months where they're not working. I said, man, these people was listening. So that's what we said. They came up with their version of it. But for Black teachers in particular, I want to talk about, because we know the deck is stacked against us already. So I wrote on here the summer months with our teachers. How do we ensure that they have support? Because they go in 3 months without income. Yeah. I know Some people, yeah, they better say they got to do this, but trust me, we got 9 knives being stabbed in us at all time. So in the event that they don't do that, what's the backup plan? How do we ensure support? So one of our proposals with the teachers is that whatever your industry is, so if you're a landlord and you got teachers that's your tenants, maybe during the 3 months you go a little lighter. Maybe you go a little light on it. Hey, half rent, whatever it's your property. But can you factor in that we want to make sure black teachers are, because black male teachers are disappearing. So how do we give some incentives and encouragement? If you got vacation homes, some people got homes all over. Hey, teachers, you can take your family there. Like, how do we create an atmosphere when they're out of school, since they're teaching our children, that every way we turn, you got a restaurant, free teachers meal, June, July, and August. Whatever you do, you're a carpenter. Hey, I'm building a porch free for the first 3 teachers. I'm a plumber. I'm fixing toilets for the teachers for free. Whatever your skill is, whatever you got, how do we say during that June to September that we go roll out the red carpet for our teachers, and we document it, and we make sure that there's no abuse there, so it ain't like the rich teacher over here getting over and getting all the benefits by zip code. We can hold them accountable. What's your thoughts, Charles and Karen, on that?
Karen, I'll let you go first.
I hadn't thought about, but when you said it, it reminded me of a store that used to be by my old job, and they would always have a teacher discount. It would always be a teacher, because it was a bookstore, and it was always a teacher's discount on supplies and everything. Yeah.
But do you think this is a good idea?
What I like about the idea is that it's helping people, but I think the part that's missing from the idea is a pay it forward from the teachers, not just the
takers. Extractors only. So yeah.
Well, that's just saying that's why teachers fight so hard to get paid so much, because it shouldn't be anyway. If we teaching the fireman, the police, the every guy going to the service, the doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that, that should be prestige occupation. You know what I'm saying? That's very high to me. I mean, I know countries where they treat their teachers way more better. You know what I'm saying? Way more better. Give them all the incentives. And
your biggest bill is housing. Everybody, the biggest 30% is housing, whether it's rent or lease or mortgage.
A month could take you out. A month. That's why what science says is real. 3 months. 3 months. Imagine 3 months of struggling.
Your eviction
to pay this stuff, and everything's steady building up. You know they collect compound interest on it. You know what I'm saying?
I thought that they pay you all year round.
No way. Oh, never. Never.
And then you still get paid during these summer months.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Now we got to do an investigation. Now, based on what you just said.
Nobody for some schools, they did that.
But now I want to know. We need to look at each state and see if that's happening somewhere.
They know that. That's why they created summer school. In the 70s, in the 80s and 90s, I was hearing they used to give unemployment.
That's the real remedy, unemployment.
For 3 months. That's why they fighting so hard to try to get it. Because just like we say, everybody can't do summer school. You ain't gonna have a regular enrollment in summer school as you would at the academic school year.
It wouldn't even.
That's first of all, right?
But I'm gonna look at the different states. We're in 20 cities. I want to look that up.
And then when you come to the thing, which I believe in any job, you should be having savings and stuff like that. But it's hard to save when they steady taxation in you and doing stuff. And you only work 10 months out of a year. You know, that's kind of hard to save anything, because that budget to get killed out from the summer. You'll get stumped out real quick from that. If
you're in Illinois, the governor made a joke about Indiana. They were trying to take some of the Indiana land, and the governor Pritzker said, y'all are a low paying state. Talking about Indiana. Said low paying state. And it's the truth. Indiana pays less than Illinois. But
they don't have it.
Indiana clapped back on him, and they did a good job. They said, we're an affordable, or we're a low cost state too.
There you go.
That's why your people coming over here for their gas, cigarettes.
They even get food in Indiana.
Right.
My daddy come from Gary and Hammond. They come from places like that. They was born there. But we always knew since we was little, it's lower here. We even knew that acknowledgement back then than it is in our own city. It's our neighboring city that we live in Chicago. We always knew that Indiana's the place to go. My parents was getting gas since we was little here. So we already know where to go.
So that was an indictment. Illinois might pay you more, but they're gonna take more.
Right.
So I'm paying you more so I can take more.
It's it's mostly Republican led here. And we're a Democrat city, and we got red light cameras. We got everything. If we're supposed to be a post city, Chicago's supposed to be a post city. Why is you taxing us, overtaxing us for houses, and putting red light cameras
everywhere?
Anything to extract money out of us if you're there to help. That's
6 miles over.
Who work for who? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
6 miles over. Like 6 miles over. Like really? You go? Yeah, that's gangster. Yeah, that's gangster.
People sitting up got to make payment plans for they red light camera bills. That's crazy, man. Come on, a payment plan. You going up in there? Please help me. Going in there begging for help when you shouldn't be. It shouldn't even be. You done put the cameras all around. So where I'm at.
So the good news is what the networking system is. So we're gonna, and we're doing it now, create an atmosphere in our community where there's layers of support, all connected, interconnected, and where we rely less on them, almost like make them as obsolete as possible, that we don't even see them because we're insulated with the love, support around each other. Like that's what I look forward to more than
that's what team is. That's what team's supposed to be. We're supposed to be that team.
So on the health side, every Thursday is health day. So every Thursday we talking about being healthier, and we want to really make sure that we're driving home the food is not medicine, because some people say food is medicine, but we don't want to associate health with medicine, because medicine is a for-profit thing. Your health is your well-being as a whole. So we rather have healthcare providers than medical doctors per se, because the people who's selling the medicine, pharmaceutical people and all them people, they put a lot of money into lobbying. There was a time when they FDA wouldn't let them advertise to citizens about medicine. Right. That just happened in the last 30 years, where now they can go directly to TV and tell you, get Trenvilica, get Cubasol. That wasn't the case 30 years ago, but they got the lawmakers, because they pay a lot of lawmakers to change laws to where they can go directly to you, and now they can influence you. How you thinking you need these drugs when we made it centuries without that. Yeah. What's your thoughts on the medicine and the food being poisoned by the same people who are making the money on the medicine to cure you for it, to treat you for it?
That's where your farmers come in. And the summer is a big time for farmers. I think they do their harvesting thing.
Harvesting,
The food as medicine, because the food is supposed to be your medicine. I just heard somebody give a talk on this until it was Dr. Bobby Price. Until the prior to 2000, most medicine was made from herbs. And now they come up with all this synthetic stuff. All the medicine gonna make you sick one way or another. Like all those people losing all that great weight on Ozempic, but it gives you pancreatic cancer. So come on. And so your food is supposed to be your medicine. Now that's something I don't know.
But what would you say? Because I think these are the same unrepentant people. These are the great-great-grandchildren of the same people who never did right by the enslaved people that made their families rich. And now we're going to trust them with medicine. And we know the tobacco industry, when it collapsed, they went into food. So a lot of this processing is from the same tobacco, R&L and all them people. So I would say this, our farmers, if we got to grow local, network local, which is against some laws. It's against certain laws in some places where you can't do this food networking, that you can't share your vegetables with each other because the lobby went against that. And so we got to fight against that and make sure people know that. So it is a strategic plan to poison our food and make sure that you're gaining weight, overweight, so you can buy their medicine and all that stuff. Big scheme. That's why Thursday is so important.
This is what I would say now. I know this is very unpopular because almost everybody hates Robert Kennedy Jr. What I don't hate about him is he is against all these dyes and chemicals.
Red fructose corn syrup. Yeah.
And that is important. It's important. These companies should not be able to poison us with these food. We don't know, and that's something that we could benefit from more education about. We don't know that enriched mean it's full of chemicals. That sounds like it's making you richer. It's enriched. No,
Yeah.
it's fattening you up where you don't even need to be and shouldn't be.
And it, so this where the mergers and acquisitions should be coming before the zip code, so they'll know you should not be able to merge the tobacco industry with the food industry. Like that's like putting a sexual predator in your household. Like, why would you bring them close to each other? Keep them far apart. So you shouldn't have tobacco and food. What you think will happen? They
Right.
put nicotine in the food to make you in the cigarettes to make you addicted to it. What you think they gonna do with the food? And so certain mergers should never be allowed to take place because it gives them all the power, all the power. So yeah, so we aware of it, and we got to remember this as Black people. We are the $1.6 trillion economy. Spain has a $1.4 trillion economy. So we got more money than the whole country of Spain. Spain has 42 million people in their whole country. And some of them are Afro Spaniards. So it ain't even all white Spaniards. And we got 46 million African Americans. So we got more people, 4 million people more than the whole country of Spain that messed up South America, got all them speaking Spanish, their language. So we African Americans didn't go nowhere and mess nobody up, got them speaking our language, which ain't ours. But the point is, we got more money, more people, but they got their own country.
Yeah.
We are in America, we are the financiers of a lot of people around the world. We are 1.6 trillion funds everybody else. What do you say?
That's a lot of money. If we could unify, if we could just say, I'm going to buy from Joe, I'm going to buy from, if we could just
name your foe. No, just name your foe.
Yeah.
If you name your four, we'll be able to on the back end start connecting people in the zip codes that you're telling us you spend money with. So now you got this constant, every time you name your four, we integrate more and more. And then at a higher level, those businesses can start talking to each other to talk about how to get manufacturing going. Because unfortunately, we are overrepresented in service.
Yeah.
That's our biggest industry, service and sales. We got to get into manufacturing. Farming is manufacturing. You're taking something and producing something. And that's what we need, more manufacturing. And that's where a lot of jobs can sustain for us. All right, so we got to move over to the, and just a shout out to Ina Jones. Her store should be opening up on 68th and Sangamon before the summer is out. And it's an organic store. She has the farm in Georgia. So she's already bringing up stuff from her farm in Georgia to Chicago, South Side. So when she opens up, we're going to invite everyone out to come to that location. So that is a good report there. All right, so now we go into the policy and the legal section. So this I touched on it already, but the policy of taking care of other people before we take care of foundational people is a policy disaster to me. And it's something that I think we got to create an atmosphere where we're okay saying it and it's not viewed as being hateful. President Obama went on Michelle Obama's show and said every male need a gay friend. And I couldn't believe it. I had to play it back, make sure it wasn't AI using his words. And when you look at policy, he's out of power, so he can't make that the policy, but you can see where that line of thinking came from. And the reason he's saying that is that it'll help take some of the masculinity out of the men that's out here shooting and killing and wilding out, and let them have empathy for compassion and empathy for people who are not like you.
Oh, yeah.
And and I said to myself, I said, wow, Charles, you didn't know that, did you? It's just you're gonna see it every day. That's what you think, Sister Kim?
I am appalled. So now he's equating gay men, and I'm not trying to disparage him, but he's equating gay men to angels.
No,
equating
to compassion.
the
No, to
Holy
compassion.
Spirit. Every man needs to be filled with the Holy Spirit. Let's just end it right there. But what good is it going to do you to get a gay friend? What good?
No,
Now, here's
he's
one
saying
thing.
for compassion. He's saying for compassion. You would learn how to be empathetic.
Now, gay men are at war with women in their athletics. How compassionate is that? You're born different, you're born stronger, but because you can put on a wig, you're going to compete against that lady and win her award, her trophy. That's no compassion.
That's what took place.
There's no
So,
compassion at all.
and people don't realize this. This is policy with a certain party where they believe that we have to be empathetic to other people more than others, because that's really what it boils down to. What you choose to do, that's your choice. But to make everyone else have to accept it is where that's where the problem is coming in. That and in the event that we do have sanctuary states, whole state sanctuary, that's where it's going to be pushed at, because they know federally it's not going to fly. So you will see that being talked about and promoted and all that stuff. Where if you're talking about it in a Republican state, in Georgia, places, Alabama, Mississippi, they go be the hell no to that policy at all, you know. But I think
heard of gay men who trying to turn straight men gay. He never heard of that, obviously.
Watch it. It's on YouTube. Him and Michelle Obama, they talking about it.
I can't.
My thing is they not gonna frame it up that way. They're not gonna frame it up that way, but that's what it is. You're telling me not to be me. Become something that you want me to be. That's what you're saying.
I would say, in case he watched this, I would say this to be real clear. The biggest problem for the entire world, 7 continents, you could say 6 continents, is getting blacks off the bottom. The fact that blacks are on the bottom is a global problem. And the reason why blacks on the bottom is a global problem, because the people who put them on the bottom is in charge of the whole world. The people who put blacks on the bottom and then got everyone else to buy into that and accept it, they're the ones messing up the world right now. They're the ones promoting the LGBT, they promoting the Zionism, they promoting the very things that's causing poor whites in America to stay poor, is causing people to second guess themselves. So you look at the suicide rate and all this stuff. Love isn't flying all over the place. It's separation and keeping blacks on the bottom. And of course, the music and the profiting off of music that says shoot and kill each other, but don't bring up what I'm doing. Don't highlight what my religion is doing, or else that's anti. You already know. So I would say to everyone, if we agree that we should make sure that the bottom should be reserved for people in a temporary status, not a whole race of people. Let me say it again. The bottom should be a place where you go through a divorce, you might go to the bottom, but you'll rise back up. It shouldn't be because of your skin color. It shouldn't be a permanent residency that because you're dark, you're assigned to the bottom forever. Black people have died and spent their whole life on the bottom. And when you say bottom, don't give me that, oh, they making money, they got their degrees. No, the bottom is when that police see your skin color, he pull you over and you die. When you riding up the street. So go ahead, Karen, because I can go on and on with that.
Everybody should have a black friend. Everybody should have a black friend. I'm outdone. I'm just outdone. I'm gonna tell you why I'm outdone, because that marriage rights came under President Obama.
2010.
And it could have been used for anything that was specifically black. How about that? Can you do one thing that's specifically to lift up Black America?
But I'm glad you said that. But I'm gonna go back to the global comfort of blacks being on the bottom. And for those who might watch this and never heard this before, to help black people get off the bottom is to disrupt the world order. Say that again. To get blacks off the bottom is to disrupt the world order. At 4:45, we're supposed to talk about the G20, but now it makes sense to bring it up. The global 20 richest economies in the world meet every year. And the purpose of their meeting is economics. The reason they're a member of the G20 is because they're making a decent amount of money to qualify to be in the G20. And almost 80 to 90% of all the economies is based on robbing Africa.
Mm.
Do you think that they want to see African Americans, the most powerful Black people in the world, strong, united, so they can then fight for their continent? No. So I better keep Black Americans distracted, killing themselves off track so they can't think about uniting 1.5 billion Africans together. So the G20 want to see chaos, distraction amongst Black Americans, because we the hell no Blacks of the world. And so that way we don't focus on trading with Africa, building with Africa. And so this is a global effort to ensure Blacks stay on the bottom, because everyone, France keep getting all the uranium for 80 cents when it's selling for $200. And he paying them 80 cents for it. Why they got no lights and they starving. What type of human being are you?
Greedy.
Gold mines, diamonds, all of this stuff. So anyone who say, no, we should help everyone. No, I'm saying getting Blacks off the bottom would disrupt the whites who control the world. And we need that disruption. Society needs that disruption. They had their turn.
It's time. It is. Mm-hmm.
And to my white brothers and sisters, shoe fit, wear it. We talking about the ones in elite power positions, not the everyday person. Because we understand it's more poor white people in America than poor Black people. We understand that. But your skin color give you a certain privilege up from Black people. So that's the reality of the Black bottom. No matter how rich you are, in the eyesight of authority, you still on the bottom.
Yeah. And that was intentional. And some people love that and will fight for it. But what are you saying? What are you fighting for? You have to be better than somebody. You can't walk beside somebody and just be equal. You have to be better than them.
Yeah. Well, now let's bring up what we talked about on the senior call Friday. So ICE, that's ICE, but this is ICE that's going to educate you, not ICE that's going to arrest you. Ignorant, cowardly, evil. ICE, ignorant, cowardly, evil. So when we look at the white males in particular, are they ignorant, meaning they just don't know? They're clueless. They've been taught a certain way. They're ignorant. Are they cowardly, meaning they know better, but they like, forget that. Hey, this is what we doing. I'm on it. Are they evil? And I always say the evil, we need to reserve the evil for Dylan Roof, who sat with Black people in the church in South Carolina, Charleston. They welcomed him, and then he went out in the car and came back and killed him. See, that's evil. See, so when you break down ICE, ICE, you put people in the buckets, and I would say majority of the white men, especially like the ones I served with in the military, they ain't racist. Might be ignorant in some categories, but they not racist. We brothers. We own the ship together, all of that, and they really believe in fighting for the country, dying for the country. But there's some things that I was able to educate them on that they was ignorant about. And that's the benefit of when you are around each other versus isolated. But there are some evil ones. And I think evil needs to be reserved for those who got hate in their heart, exemplified. Not ignorant talking, because a lot of people talk, won't bust a grape. I'm talking about evil, and they talking and is exemplified, meaning they show actions toward that evilness. What do you say about ICE? ICE, you too, Charlie. Karen, any thoughts on that?
Yeah. The Congress has opened my eyes so much to how cowardly, and it really, I'm gonna be honest, it hurts my feelings, because I thought that those lawmakers were more brave, but they are so cowardly. You can't make me think that some of this stuff they don't know is wrong.
But John McCain, Navy guy, he Navy like me. He did thumbs down just like that, and his shoulder messed up. He did thumbs down against all odds with them. They hated him, but he was that stood on business.
Alone.
John McCain.
He stood alone because he wasn't a coward.
That's
and
it.
Those other guys just stand there. How can they even look themselves in the face? And that's why they hate the Black man. Because you're not going to get no whole group of Black men at the pinnacle of power and still cower under one guy because, hey, he might say something about me. He might run somebody against me. The biggest shame should be the cowardice that you're showing. That should be your biggest shame, but they fine with it. They fine with it.
And it's
must
like,
hate them. How could you not hate a man that's that much of a
yeah,
coward?
nah, but like you say, Congress on both sides, because even with these
Ooh,
Epstein files, there are people who know what the Clintons did, and they quiet about it. That's cowardly. I want you to hear that direct from me. That's cowardly. You go die anyway. The
yeah.
question is, when you die, what they gonna say about you? Were you a person who stood on principle, or you was a coward? You
I
was afraid.
coward. Sometimes you might want to lay low. Sometimes you might want to be quiet, but there has to be a hill that you will die on, and they don't have one. They don't.
That's why I said John McCain. He went out and man, that was good. And he told them when
Yeah,
Obama ran, he told all his angry white people, he's this. They said no, he's a good man.
yeah, he
Remember
did.
that
I
in
do.
the town hall? He said no, he's not that. He's a good man. And
Yeah,
he checked his own people. He checked his
yeah,
own people. You know. So what you gonna say, Gov?
Yeah, well, that just showed. That's just like if we look at a country like Africa, take Africa for instance. Africa never went and attacked no one, but everybody, every race. They can't step away from it and say they didn't once attack Africa. And they still exploiting it today. They're exploiting it today, and they are mad because the wake up is coming. And now they want to scramble. What did we do? What did we do wrong? They see that's the ignorant part right there. You're very ignorant and disrespectful not to know that you didn't do nothing wrong. To even ask that question.
What about this? Because this part of it too. When I've gotten so used to abusing you that I expect to abuse you. And so right now, France is asking Nigeria, can we work something out? We need our lights on. We need our nuclear energy. Can we do something? And right now they saying no. And I wish they did say no, because we don't want France with no lights on. Like, come on.
exactly.
So,
You want to
so
still work with them. Work on your terms.
give
Just
them
work on
something.
your
Right,
terms.
right, right, right. Because what the white men in power have to do is they gonna have to get to a place where they say, okay, they throw their hands up, say, okay, I recognize that we can't keep doing business as usual. I recognize that y'all want sovereignty and y'all go do for self. I still need access to the stuff. What can I do? Like
Right.
at some point, they got to humble themselves and put their hands up because all the sanctions and all the stuff, the travel ban, like Trump did with the African countries, they said, well, if you go travel ban us, you can't get no more minerals. And now they're like, okay, no, travel ban is okay.
And we kick no
You
people out of our country.
where you can't get the diamonds, the gold, the cobalt, the lithium no more. And that's
Ooh,
what's happening.
You blocking yourself.
Yeah, you block. So, but they got to get to a place. The white men in power, they throw their hands and say, okay, we got to play fair now.
yeah.
That ain't even reparations conversation. That's just saying, I know I can't keep exploiting you no more.
You got to walk them back.
That's what got to happen. Or else they go keep spinning the block and unfortunately frustrating themselves because they can't have what they used to have, which was dominance and control.
And
So yeah.
I do have hope in younger people because younger people not the same. They weren't even taught the same like those older guys. Taught all that foolishness, lies about us that made them feel justified in being so evil towards us. So I do have some young people. Yeah.
So you know how I feel about the young people. I think the young people have the energy. They have the benefit of what the people older left them. So we need all of us, retirees, adults, and youth. I just want to always temper the young people that always be humble and pay homage to how you got to where you are. There are people who are traveling all around in other countries and they're making statements like, see, this is all you got to do too. There was a time when you couldn't do that, bro.
Absolutely.
So humble yourself. There was a time when you couldn't do it.
It's like MJ coming in saying, like Michael Jordan coming in and saying, I'm the greatest. But he was wise enough and humble enough to say, no, what about Dr. J, them guys that came? They the one who paid the way.
Someone paid the way.
They paid the way. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for them doing what they did.
Yes.
And as before them, who came before them.
Right.
Yeah, both of you all, but I met younger white people. I have more hope in younger white people than the
older guys. Yeah. Now they remember in the world, blacks determine what's cool.
Yeah.
In the whole world.
Yeah.
You see Asian people, they be trying. You see like like black people decide what's cool.
Everything. Yeah,
Black Americans to be in particular. Black Americans.
That's just in us. That's the gift.
Yeah. But I think what it is no one else went through what we went through to the degree and the extent that we went through. So what we say matters.
Yeah.
When we say something is cool, it's cool. You know what I mean? So and that's not to knock on nobody else. That's look around, look at it from music, entertainment, you name it. So yeah. So,
I'm not gonna make a
there's a place for everyone. So yeah. Now voter registration. Let's hit that. So Brittany, that's our leader for voter registration, zip code 60652. That's our elected official zip code for the report cards and everything. This here, the next election is March 17th, 2026. That's Illinois. I don't have Gary's yet, but it's normally right after that. But we do want to ramp up all our 17-year-olds so that as soon as they turn 18, we can register them at 17. As soon as they turn 18, they'll be ready to go. So we do want to start reporting the numbers on how many people we was able to identify at 17 so we can get them ready to vote. You just said it. Well, you're talking about the young white people, but the young black people got to know that voting matters, even if you don't like the outcome, because we are changing the landscape. So we want you in the habit of voting. That's my position on it. What do you think, Karen and Charles?
Well, I'm gonna say this, then I'm gonna have to pull my screen down. I heard last month that the Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. and Jr. are named behind a bill. I guess maybe the younger son, Jonathan, put it in, that all people in high school at a certain age would automatically be registered to vote. And I think we should get behind that. Then we have to teach people more about the civics, because that's something that they stopped teaching, keeping people ignorant for a reason.
Just like financial literacy, though, I think the do for self model is Wednesday is economic day. If we got a chamber of commerce in our zip code, or if we don't, Wednesday is, let's push that, y'all. Like let's teach financial literacy. Wednesday is economic day. Let's get them naming their phone too as a kid. What was you gonna say about that?
I think civics is something that teaching that foundation is something that we should enhance in our young people, because it's worldwide. It's just not,
no matter where you at.
It's just not United States. It's a worldwide thing. No matter where you live.
Yep.
You're gonna have to do this civic thing, because that's how we put the people in power. No matter where you at, that we put in power, or make those decisions, or even study a candidate. I want you to study that too. What do you like about them? What do you dislike? All that's important for you to learn.
So. So we got, and so we're going to be hyping that up. We're going to be getting that more involved. Our rites of passage is tied to that, y'all. At 17 years old, as soon as you hit 18, you're in the rites of passage. Where 18, we want to teach you about Mississippi, the nickels to Mississippi. At 19, the dimes to your sister city, U.S. city. When you hit 20, the pennies to Africa. When you hit 21, your quarters that stay in your zip code. So 18 to 21 is when we want to really, as a young adult, get you supporting the global effort that we put together here. What was you going to say, Sister Karen?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm moving around. I wasn't going to say nothing.
Oh, okay. So we got 8 minutes here. So I want to go ahead. I'm going to hit the convention. I
just want to jump in and say we appreciate everybody that supports this effort. Now, I want to let all our viewers know, in order to support us, you could do it by, what's the 3 ways? Sir, give me 3 ways.
But the biggest thing is electronically. So that's Zelle, 312-405-8844. That's directly to me. I'll account for it and show you where it went. And that's also Cash App, 312-405-8844. Or our website is where PayPal is, and that's www.nationalblockclubuniversity.com.
And that's $1 a month or $12 for the year.
And we ideally people would just set up auto, like they call it repeating under Chase, repeating, so it'll repeat every month, and then you don't have to worry about it. And also we want people buying these $20 Bill Cartwright books. Bill Cartwright played for the Bulls with Michael Jordan in the center. He's selling these books, autobiographies. We have them right now deployed throughout our zip code. Sister Superstar Karen and Charles helped drop the books off. to black businesses that was excited. One black business told Charles, "Thank you for including me."
It was fast.
It was fast.
To you in the Roseland area.
112.
Yeah, he got some good dogs. Shop with him too. He got some that excellent old school stuff. The Dobbs,
men's clothing, right?
Stacey Adams, all that good stuff. Yeah. Shop with
him. So us putting those books there allow the residents to go local, but send us the money. We don't want them handling money. We don't want to put that burden on them. Send the money to me. I send a note to them, letting them know you're coming to pick it up. Take the picture, because this is something we're going to show people. These 20 zip code black businesses getting to know each other, working together, and putting our drivers out there will allow us to create our own Amazon delivery service. So what's your thoughts on that, Karen?
That, you know what, I think it is a perfect idea, but it's an absolute perfect fit for men's wear stores, because most guys still know about Bill Cartwright, the Chicago Bulls. Most guys still know about that. You know, I remember the name, but that's a big deal, and it is a big deal. It is a big deal. So they go in there and they see. I could imagine they would be happy. When my son saw it, he said, "Hey, I want this book."
No, that's history, and that's why the pictures matter, because black people want to see it. They want to see, like, don't be talking about it. Let me see, show me, you know. Let me see what you're talking about, homie.
And it's a signed copy. It's a signed copy. So
it is signed.
Yeah,
it is signed. This is what it looks like. So that's the book up top, $20. The economy is made up of production, distribution, consumption. There's jobs and distribution, which is the west side, south side, east side drivers. I had to come and get the book, so I was a driver from Gary, Indiana. Then the businesses, those black businesses, letting us create this multi-purpose there. So longevity, the books are there. Inglewood Hardware, the books are there. Hands of Love, the books are there. Southside Marketplace, that's the men's clothing, the books are there. Black Dollar Market Corner Store, black owned, is there. We got, like I say, we got our brother Edwards Fashion, 112. So think about the black agreement. Old Fashioned Donuts will be getting there. That's our superstar Karen taking a picture with the book there. And the names there, we want to make sure that they're able to send us the money so they can go pick them up in the black business, take the pictures, so we can let black people know we can be in agreement. We can be in agreement. Yes, we can. So now we're going to close out with the conventions. I want to make sure you guys know why the conventions matter so much. So let me read to you the conventions for July. July 5th was the religious convention in Gary, Indiana. July 12th, Saturday, police convention. So police officers all over America should have been in Gary. July 19th, Saturday, truck drivers. That's a big one. We got more women truck drivers than ever before. Convention. Today, the lawyers convention, black lawyers all over the country. August 2nd, the political convention. August 9th, Saturday, the military convention, all our veterans. August 16th, the wrestling, karate, and boxing convention. Then August 23rd, the sales and marketing convention. And I just give you a sneak peek at September. September 6th, Saturday, firefighters convention. September 13th, Saturday, barbers, beauticians convention. Saturday, September 20th, the poetry convention. And then Saturday, September 27th, the art convention. So as we talk about getting 1,000 people to do their $1, imagine $1,000 to use toward conventions. It becomes real then. It becomes the excuse to make sure that those children in our zip codes in Chicago are coming to Gary for these conventions so they can meet the people who are doing it already. And that means that now Gary is having a concert for those young people coming from Chicago Friday night. So Saturday they could be here. We just created vibrancy. We created activity, people moving around, those books moving around. When we get the donation buckets in these black businesses next, moving money around, people traveling to Gary for these conventions here. And every weekend it's a different convention. Now we're creating vibrancy. Mm-hmm. When our 18-year-olds are getting the 20 nickels for Mississippi, now Mississippi got $1,000 to spend to come up to Gary for the convention. So imagine that. Your nickels, 18-year-olds putting nickel money down there, that nickel money used for travel to come up here to the conventions. That's vibrancy.
Yep.
That's rotation, y'all.
It's purposeful.
It's purposeful. So that's it. The next summit is Saturday, August 28th. We're on tour starting August 1st in 60629. That's Governor Deborah Pryor. That's the Marquette Park neighborhood. So hopefully the weather will be okay because we want to be outside there in the Martin Luther King field. They put a monument up for him where they hit him with a brick at over there. So we hope to be out there Saturday, August 28th, 3 to 5 o'clock as always. Sister Yvette, are you able to speak? Any words before we close out? Your mic is muted, so you will have to hit that mic. Governor Joe, what about you? Any closing remarks? It's okay if not.
I hit
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah, we can hear
really
you.
yes, you know that I just want to be supportive. I'm trying to learn and be at every meeting so I can be actively involved by my actions, and that I can do that and then express to others so they can do the same. Was ready to come. I'm just gonna calculate and give my $12 a year at least. For I know I met you before my daughter was born, so she's 24. So I'll be calculating that it's 12 years. And since you said Zelle, I don't have to do the money order thing. I can just Zelle it to you. Okay.
We love you. We love you, lady. You
I
always got.
love
Thank you
you.
for
I
saying
love you
that.
so
People need to
much.
hear that.
And I love your wife. I love y'all. You know I do.
Look, and what you just said, Yvette been talking to me about that. So I want to say that I know we at the minute mark. So all of our people, especially those who've been with us 20 years, so 20 years times $12 is $240. Just so y'all know, we've already calculated. But the key with that concept is honestly, it's spiritual. When you sow seeds in good soil, just you done your part. Like you done your part. What they do with it and all that, that's on them. They accountable for that. And so we want people, especially those who've been with us, who know the good work we've been doing for 20 years. All of them trips cost money for the kids. All of the help, that stuff costs. And so we do hope that people will get to that place where they saying, you know what, I'm gonna go back. Like Yvette's saying, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna catch up because I know those years it costs to operate. So thank you for allowing me to speak that by you bringing that up, Yvette. Joe, you got anything?
My pleasure.
You on mute, Joe. All right. Governor Joe is one of our superstars that's going to be one of our permanent drivers, y'all, because we got to make sure that the spirit like Joe, who connects with everybody, is out there with these businesses to help them see the vision and help them go to higher levels too of financially supporting us. Thank you.